Centuries of inspiration and innovation have enriched it, yet every layer remains rooted in the most truthful, uncomplicated, and unadulterated feelings of the heart. The spontaneity with which these emotions bubbled over, flowing in streams to join the great confluence called Bihu, has ensured that nothing superficial was ever allowed to tamper with its fundamental essence. If I were asked to name the one achievement a true son of the Brahmaputra Valley could take pride in, I would point to the stupendous success of cultivating Bihu into this rich cultural heritage. An Assamese person should feel deep gratitude toward ancestors who worked relentlessly to build a legacy for posterity without sacrificing the authentic flavor of the soil. Bihu is the most authentic cultural platform capable of uniting all Northeasterners. Every ethnic group in the region can identify with the Bihu spirit. Every Northeasterner can lay claim to its heritage. Bihu symbolizes, represents, assimilates, and upholds the collective joy and hope expressed by all peoples of this region at the arrival of spring. The commencement of the festivities with Garu Bihu, a ritual in which cattle are given a ceremonial bath, anointed with turmeric, and fed the finest fodder, demonstrates an ancient homogeneity with the natural world, transporting the participant into a realm of tenderness sheltered by the rhythms of the earth. Welcome to a truly mind-bending video on springtime spectacles of Northeast India. The repertoire of Bihu is an enviable treasure bequeathed to posterity, an unbroken flow of creativity that began with the very first act of cultivation. Unlike many cultural traditions that have lost their way, Bihu has not sacrificed the essential elements of its origin. The magic of Bihu lies in this fidelity. Centuries of inspiration and innovation have enriched it, yet every layer remains rooted in the most truthful, uncomplicated, and unadulterated feelings of the heart. The spontaneity with which these emotions bubbled over, flowing in streams to join the great confluence called Bihu, has ensured that nothing superficial was ever allowed to tamper with its fundamental essence. Was this a conscious effort? I often wonder. In many cultural traditions, one might find originality, yet a lack of refinement can render the form undistinguished. Conversely, one might find sophistication, yet a lack of originality may render it hollow. Bihu stands alone as a folk tradition that balances both originality and refinement in perfect necessary measure. There is much about Bihu that eludes common perception. I cannot recall another cultural tradition in India that remains such a vital, living part of the social fabric. It is rare for a fertility rite to metamorphose into such a sophisticated art form without compromising its original spirit and soul. Bihu songs depict contemporary social mores with such traditionalist finesse that one is left wondering if the people who own this culture ever felt the need to develop a separate literary tradition to portray or reflect their lives. If I were asked to name the one achievement a true son of the Brahmaputra Valley could take pride in, I would point to the stupendous success of cultivating Bihu into this rich cultural heritage. An Assamese person should feel deep gratitude toward ancestors who worked relentlessly to build a legacy for posterity without sacrificing the authentic flavor of the soil. Unlike some other societies, the Assamese did not discard their ancient traditions in their quest to become modern and stylish. Rather, they made their traditions fit within the New Age cultural milieu. Thus, we have the most celebrated folk tradition of Eastern India, stylish and sophisticated, yet remarkably true to its roots. Their life force has survived the test of time. While many cultures boast awe-inspiring repertoires, if you look deep enough, you often find the thread has snapped somewhere. To sever one's roots may be lucratively gainful in the short term, but in the long run, I am not so sure. One might ask, should we consider mutability to be the most essential quality in our modern world? Is championing strong ties to one's roots wise given the rapid changes in the global scenario? Does it not risk falling behind? There are peoples known for their mutability. They constantly shed old leaves to put forth plucky new foliage. They are dynamic, adaptable, and skilled at reinventing themselves to suit the new world order. They can build magnificent religio-cultural creations, only to later abandon the entire process, including their age-old ethos, to chase new ideas. They operate on a single realization: to mutate is to progress. The Assamese refused to dump the old ways, and what they achieved is nothing short of stupendous. They succeeded in bestowing their old ways with world-class sophistication and style. Perhaps this eagerness to cling to their roots occasionally hindered their adaptation to changing environments. But it served one crucial, elegant purpose. It preserved the ethno-cultural identity of the Assamese in the face of countless cultural, linguistic, political, and economic onslaughts. Nothing will successfully challenge the Assamese identity so long as the Bihu spirit is kept alive. Similarly, the Northeastern identity will remain secure as long as this spirit thrives across the region. Bihu is the most authentic cultural platform capable of uniting all Northeasterners. Every ethnic group in the region can identify with the Bihu spirit. Every Northeasterner can lay claim to its heritage. Bihu symbolizes, represents, assimilates, and upholds the collective joy and hope expressed by all peoples of this region at the arrival of spring. The very sensuality of the body movements and the rituals associated with the festival make it clear how integral Bihu is to nature's own design. The commencement of the festivities with Garu Bihu, a ritual in which cattle are given a ceremonial bath, anointed with turmeric, and fed the finest fodder, demonstrates an ancient homogeneity with the natural world, transporting the participant into a realm of tenderness sheltered by the rhythms of the earth. You might ask, so what? Most festivities in the world have their origins in agricultural settings. What is unique about Bihu is the sophistication and refinement it has attained, the resolute commitment of its aficionados to retain the originality of its spirit, and the foundational role it plays in community life. In days gone by, enthusiasts would organize Bihu gatherings in the neighboring woodlands. Even today, in remote rural pockets, one can still find Bihu dances unfolding amidst the trees. Imagine unmarried youth, young men and women alike, retreating to the woods to perform one of the most vivacious dances imaginable, accompanied by songs that are both traditional and extemporaneously composed, romantic, passionate, and rich in innuendo, bordering on a kind of unpolluted eroticism. This truly illustrates the Northeastern approach to life. It is to be lived with full-blooded passion and zeal. There is no room here for pretension or artifice. During the festival, people emerge in new clothes. Women present the menfolk with gamosas, the iconic hand-woven towels, specially crafted for their loved ones. A maiden's preoccupation with the time-bound labor of weaving is often reflected in song. She might sing of her anxiety when her lover sends impatient messages to join him at the Bihu Tali, while her work, the very gift she intends for him, remains unfinished. She is caught between the fervor of her paramour and the demands of the loom. The color palette of the festival is deeply symbolic. Women drape themselves in mekhala sadars, adorned with red floral designs and borders, paired with red blouses and golden silks. Even their palms are stained with a natural red pigment of a particular tree leaf. Men, meanwhile, are traditionally dressed in toti and kurta, with the gamosa from a loved one tied proudly around their heads. The youth gather at Bihu talis, those sacred open spaces in fields along roadsides, or on riverbanks, where human passion defies the heat of the emerging spring sun. In modern times, Bihu talis have assumed new forms, particularly in cities and towns, where performances on stage ensure the survival of the Bihu spirit within the urban milieu. Throughout these spaces, the use of traditional musical instruments is fiercely encouraged. The most authentic sounds, the pepa, a wind instrument fashioned from buffalo horn, and the gagana, the delicate string device played by young women with their teeth and fingers, are still played with gusto. The brisk rhythmic stepping, the sensuous sway of the hips and the uninhibited expressions of the dancers, combined with music that flows directly from the heart, cast a spell of enchantment that is truly matchless. And if you are perhaps too old to participate in the dances marked by such youthful vitality, do not worry, there is Husori. This traditional carol singing and dancing is led by the elders. Groups of men travel from house to house, singing songs that are more reflective and devotional than the lively, romantic melodies of the Bihu tali. The villagers receive them with deep respect, offering Bihu time sweetmeats, tambul pan, and monetary gifts. This collective contribution is then dedicated to the upkeep of the village community hall or other vital developmental works, cementing the social bonds of the village. If you enjoyed dissecting these ethnocultural and historical tweak points with me, consider joining our small circle of explorers by subscribing. Thank you.